Hey everybody. Now for something slightly different. This is a team training video. I met up with my teammate Travis. I'll pause while I do my little intro here. So we met up at a local pool hall, one of the nicest spots around here where I play. And this is actually the place where I played my playoffs and the finals for APA Masters. Again, congrats to the team. We made it. We're going to Vegas. We're going to be there in August. If you're going to be out there, let me know so we can meet up or at least say hi. Planning on meeting up with a lot of you who have reached out, and I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be really cool to put a face to the screen name. A lot of us have kind of gone back and forth, and yeah, it'll be great to connect with everybody, and just super excited about Vegas in general. So I'll move on here quick. But so this is Travis. He's one of my friends, and he plays on my team. He's a really good shot. I'm really enjoying the dynamics that we have on the team. We're building up rapport. We're getting better with the communication, supporting each other, giving advice, giving feedback. All that stuff's really great. With this commentary video, I cut out the audio from the background because I had some nightmares with just the copyright content and strikes on the original live video. But I will post the live video. It'll be up here somewhere to check that out if you want to hear some of the background noise, because Travis and I go back and forth. It was very much like a hangout session, and we're giving each other a lot of tips and feedback, and we're just trying to improve each other's game. So yeah, we'll jump into the match here. He does scratch on the break, so I'm treating this just like a normal commentary video, but the idea is we're building each other up before Vegas. We're trying to make each other as good as possible, basically. And so I came out of the gate, and I've been working really hard on my 9-ball game, not just the break, but the kind of playing against the ghost, feeling that pressure of you get out or you lose, basically. Remember to do YouTube stuff. I know a lot of you are really great with that. If you're new here or if you've been kind of lurking for a while, I do encourage you to subscribe, hit like on the video, helps out the channel a lot. I mean, everybody knows that YouTube stuff, but I like to put out reminders. Meanwhile, I'm getting out. It's not exactly a roadmap, but I mean, everything kind of leads to each other. Like it'd be hard to get out of line on these. You don't have to get super cute coming from the 6-ball back out to the 7. You don't have to go that far at all. So this should feel really good if we get out here. And I like that. I'm not trying to overplay this. Sure, it might be nice to come to the center of the table to bounce off the 7, but even just a little bit of snip draw here, you're going to get a good look at the 8. And then rail shot on the 8 takes you towards the 9. That's kind of the only tester that we'll have in this rack as long as we bear down. This one's good. Again, don't overcomplicate it. You don't have to pull back a lot to make the shot on the 8-ball easier. Just stay relaxed. It was a big theme for me during this practice session. But it will get away from me a little bit. It's going to be interesting. Overrolled that one a little bit. This table played really springy. The rails were just super bouncy, and the speed took me a little while to kind of get it dialed in. But bear down on this cut. We all know how to make that one. Gives us our first game. So my break shot was looking really good. This one in particular probably got away from me the most of all the break shots that I was hitting that night. But yeah, just in general, what you'll see in this video, I encourage you to stick around until the end because it's a really interesting match. We are playing APA Masters format as it's set up in the top left, so we lagged, and he won the lag, so he chose to take the break, and I chose 9-ball. Make a good hit on the 2. I'm starting to think a little differently about, whether or not I push out. Do I want to just turn over the option to my opponent? Do I want to give them control, or do I want to aim for just making a good hit and keep control, or try to put them in a tough position? But we wanted to play a Masters format here and start to get that pressure on ourselves to play good opponents and have that sense that it's kind of like playing the ghost. When we're going to get out to Vegas, you have to assume that your opponent is a monster. They're going to run out if you leave them an open look at something. So we got to treat each other that way too. But Travis's style, what I was saying before, Travis's style is very different from mine. So I tend to play precise, probably to a fault, trying to get too perfect at times. And Travis goes more kind of feel player, thinking about his kind of just like a timing, kind of a rhythm sort of player. So there's those two lines of thought, and he and I had a really great discussion that night about you know, I could use a little more of his game, and maybe he could use a little more of mine. I was in sort of a tough position with that 2-ball. I cut the video because I looked at it for quite a while, and I might need to practice that one. Think about maybe getting past the 2 or rolling up on the 5, but I leave him an open look at the 2-3 combination. The 3 is a hanger, and he's in good shape to get back up on the 4. Maybe under hit that one a little bit. The 4 would go past the 7, I believe. He does make the combination, but that double hit on the 4-ball leaves it in a tough spot. But I like this aspect of Travis's game. He doesn't really spend a lot of time kind of double guessing, you know, overthinking. So he leaves me in a tough spot here with a really good touch, good speed control to get across the table and splitting it with the 5. So I've got the 1-rail kick on the 4. It's not really an advantage. I don't know if I could get past the 5 to come in this way, but it's unlikely to really work out too well for you. Whereas coming into the long rail, the 4 is pretty big. You can come into the rail anywhere up here or all the way out on this side of the 4. You have a lot of space to hit it. If you hit it, decent chance of making it. Shape on the 5 is not going to be great, but at least you're not giving up ball in hand. So you got to make sure you hit this one. And it took off the rail just a little bit springier than I expected. So close, really close to the thin side of that 4-ball, but I had a lot of room on the other side of it. So I think I just kind of misjudged that angle slightly. And now Travis is in great position to get out here. Yeah, nice touch there. A lot of room to operate off this 5-ball. Kind of draw back down. Sort of a punchy low outside, low left. Brings you perfectly down for the 9. Travis is a 7-8. Has not played a lot on 9-ball teams in APA, but I'd say really solid 7-8. Certainly some days where he plays more like a 9. And that was a good break. Hit him really solid. The cue ball was popped down to stay there, and he just happened to get kicked up the table and he had his point. And opening up here, no great offensive options for the 1. The bank is there, so if he wants to go aggressive, he could play this bank, and then you're pretty likely to get some good shape. If you're not feeling that, you could try to come thin off the 1, play safe behind the 2. Yeah, he's just going to throw this in. It's an awesome shot. Worked out great. And he's always going to get a look at the 3-ball after this, but he decides to get down table a little bit, which I like. You want to get closer. He's considering this 3-ball combination, 3-8 to the 5. He just rifles it in. Maybe rush that one a little bit, but those are hard to judge. Thin cut on the 3. Oh, yeah. Bobbled that one a little bit. So we did talk about this, and I think a lot of our preparation for Vegas, as the team is working on building each other up, what are the weaknesses? I mean, we just call them what they are. What are the weaknesses in our games? And as I said, mine is trying to get too perfect. I need to play good enough pool, not perfect pool. And Travis and I were talking about in his game, what he notices sometimes is that he'll do something really cool, something will really work out, or he'll hit a really good shot, or yeah, some kind of hero shot or something. And then he has this tendency to rush into the next one and do something silly to kind of immediately compensate for it. Thin cut on the 4, but you can let this out a little bit. Nice clean into the pocket. Look how bouncy those are. I'm going to use the whole table here. Probably could have eased off that a little bit, or if you're going to commit, I mean, use that other rail. But we're fine. Nice and smooth through the 7-ball, and you're going to come back around for the 8, especially with how bouncy this is. But a bit of a tester here on the 7. Nice, that's well played. Oh, catch the point a little bit. Could have been a scratch. That could have been a scratch for sure. This next shot, this is for DVP. This is that drag shot. So you want to hit it like you're shooting it, but totally kill the energy of the cue ball on the way down. That one is so useful. Nice, pop that one in. Puts us up to 2. Let's see how this break shot looks. I really liked my break. Travis was complimenting it too. I liked my 9-ball break. Yeah, squat it down. I was making balls really consistently too. That was the other thing. very reliably making 2 or 3 balls and popping the cue ball down. So the practice with my break shots working out. This one was a little weird. I'll pause it quick. This one was a little weird because I had the option of playing the 2 into the rail, so rail and then off the 8 ball. The combo was there, but it's a little dicey because then you're sending the 2 ball back down table without having a pocket. So I did make the attempt to play the 2 ball into the rail and go off the 8, but just mishit it. Maybe catch a bit of a roll here. Yeah, I think I put him behind the 6. This is a good battle though, guys. It was really cool to connect with Travis like this because we played together throughout the session, and he's rock solid. I mean, he's always there. He's really supportive. Really great ideas, really great feedback. He plays a ton. I think he's playing on 3 different teams, or yeah, he's out 2 or 3 times a week. He's gonna go for the 1 rail kick here, just kind of spin this thing. Nice, it's a good hit, and he'll catch a roll, which he deserves. I mean, he made a really good hit. And I had looked at the 1 rail kick into the 2, so here and try to spin it into the 2, which is touchy, or here and try to tighten it up, maybe catch the thin top side of the 2. I didn't end up liking either of those, and then obviously too far to jump, hard to calculate that. So I end up going for the long rail with the understanding that, you know, you come long and there is the possibility of hitting it back on 2 rails, but you really do want to hit it 1 rail. So I'm using my system to gauge that and just make a good hit on the 2 with a little bit of pace. Maybe something good happens for you. So make a good hit, which is nice. We don't want to give up ball in hand here, but we are selling out the 2 ball. And basically the 4 to the 5 is going to be the key shot. The 5 is right on the point, and sometimes you can kind of hammer those through. You can sort of force it through the point. So I love that shot. I love the way he played that. He knew he had a lot of room up here, but you don't want to try to hold it. So he used that bottom short rail to come back up above the 4. But this might be an example. I think it catches him here, where he made a cool shot on the 2. Yeah, kind of bobbles the 4. Didn't land great on the 5. And here, I remember this shot, probably coming into the 4 down and back, playing underneath the 5, maybe force it through the point, or maybe try to play it up table, which is tough. I end up opting for coming back up above the 5. I think I was looking at the cross corner bank to try to send the 5 down here. Yeah, I think just high right or just a high ball to come down and back and stay below the 5 would have been the way to go. Because now you can't play it down in this corner, you'll scratch. So I think I try to just send it cross corner and leave it buried somewhere. Yeah, it didn't really end up great. He's got full access to the 5, and as long as he plays it nice and smooth, it's going to send him towards the 6. Oh, kind of stood up on that one. So this could work out. 5 goes, and it does send us towards the 6. So this is a good bear down moment. Could be a kind of a turning point in the match as well. Really make sure to make this 5. It's a tester. These are tough shots. And you don't have to think about spinning this at all. You just kind of play smooth through it. Maybe a bit of a high ball just to make sure that you're staying level. Shooting from the rail. I like this. I'm double checking it. So just, yeah, make sure you... Oh, no, I'm going to pull off it because I didn't want to mess with hitting the 6. It's well struck. Kind of a weird shape on the 6, though, because it's really thin. Hard to spin back down for the 7. I might have let up a little bit on the draw stroke because I wanted to be back a bit farther. So we play safe here. And I like this play because you've got traffic down between the 7 and the 9. This worked out great. Good speed control. And this one, I've talked about it before, but when you play safe, usually it helps to focus on just one or the other. And this time I focused big time on the cue ball, which means that I gave up the jump shot. And in Masters, pretty much everybody out there in Vegas is going to be able to jump. Travis can also jump. Let's see if he can put the 6 down. Makes a good hit on it. Is the 8 gonna get in the way? How does this finish? Nope. So now, the all-important shape from the 6 to the 7. You can go full into the 6 ball, maybe just super draw, kind of pull back to the long rail down and out this way. I opt for rail first, so coming into the rail here and come around. Or you could even come into the rail and just try to go down table this way. You could aim for playing into the 7 ball, so lots of ways to play this, but just make sure you check your point on the rail to where you want to hit the 6. So good spin, open it up, hit it pretty thin, and I do play to hit the 7, which works out nice. That can go wrong for you, though. I think probably if I address that shot again, I might not play onto the 7. So another kind of touchy one. I mean, the 7's not hard to make, but you want to think about, am I going off the 9, or am I going to try to pull back away from the 7 and use this side of the table? And I kind of screw back from it, which is fine. Thin cut on the 8, but you're always going to come down and back above the 9. So just make sure you pay attention to this cut angle. Don't get too caught up on the position. Use the whole pocket on that one. So bouncy. Let's come all the way back up. Didn't leave anything super easy on the 9 ball, but it's a very makeable ball. There's no risk of a scratch, so you just go clean through this. Double check this, because as soon as I was sighting it down, somebody walked through. Normally it doesn't get me, but I just didn't want to take any chances here. I'm still playing pretty sharp. That looks good. It's a good hit. All right. Good break. Yeah, see the cue ball squat down. Get kicked around, but whatever. You know, you can't do anything about that. Not an easy position on the 3. You know, you want to send it down table. And the cue ball is going to want to come down and back. Trying to hold the cue ball over here is possible with that speed, but maybe you think about playing into this 7-8. It's a little dicey. Coming back and forth means you're putting a lot of pace on the 3 ball. I think you just focus on making the 3 ball and you take what you get. Maybe you play safe, maybe you don't. That's another thing that I'm really working on. It's going to help to mitigate the perfection thing. Yeah, because you don't need to be missing that 3 ball, man. Yeah, the idea is, you know, you make a plan, you commit to that plan, take what you get. Try not to get so hung up on, oh, it didn't go according to plan, I didn't get exactly what I want. That's certainly a weakness for me. I'm very aware of that. Travis and I were talking through that throughout the night. Kind of dealer's choice here. Kind of curves around the 8. Sort of spins the 3 ball into the side. I like that. He's got a good shape on the 5 ball here. And as long as he gets neat on the 6, he should be fine. Yeah, this is great. Just pinch it back. Play 7 in the side, 8 in the corner where the 6 is going. A little tentative on that one, so he might have to take the 8 by the 9. Oh, he's going down and back. So based on how he was pointing, and that was after the fact, I don't know if it was really the plan or not. It seemed like he was indicating that he wanted to be below the 8 to play it in the side, which a lot of players will go for that. There's plenty of room over here to play the 8 in that corner, really comfortably in that corner. So that could have been fine too. But I think it's just commit to one or the other. So he's got to pop this in the corner and come back around table, but plenty of room to move. Yeah, clean. Might have used another breath on this. Puts it away though. There you go. Way to work it out, Travis. Good one. He's losing his cue ball. Yeah, he and I were talking about that. So we love to get ball in hand from here. The 5 is the issue. So getting on the 5, do you use the 4 ball and stay over here and just take the back cut on the 5? Do you... I looked at this one for a while. I think I probably cut out some video because I was trying to figure out the right pattern. That's my first thought, and I do like that. Just trying to get back behind the 5, whatever, you just take that back cut. Not too complicated. It's tempting to try to get in here, but it's a thin window. I mean, you really don't have a lot of room to operate. And if you're down here, it's a super thin cut on the 5. That can get awkward. Yeah, so I really think the idea was basically play a stop shot and you're behind the 4, and then coming off the 4 this way sends you towards that window for the 5. But I didn't hit it right. I drifted forward a little bit, and now you're on the back side of the 4, which is sending you this way. So these are patterns that I know how to play better. You're picking a really wide position window instead of trying to get into a really thin but ideal space. Some decision-making stuff is going to bite us in this game. And at 3-2, you really want to try to create some distance. So playing those high percentages. So we roll this down and just dog it. I mean, we let up on that. This was not an intentional safety or anything. We caught a bit of a roll. I mean, he can still make a good hit on the 4. He might have to go down and back, but it's a very hittable ball. But the idea, I think, there was to roll, and the speed was okay, but to roll just down a little bit farther to play into that thin window below the 7. Not terrible, not great. Yeah, he wants to make this one rail hit on the 4. I don't know if he was looking at... Yeah, I'm not sure what that was, like looking at the 7 or something. Oh man, he makes a good solid hit on that, but does not cooperate. So from here, instead of messing with sending the 5 anywhere else, trying to get above it, I just take it in the side. And I know that if I'm just a bit below that first diamond, it'll roll off the 5 up towards the 6. So just kind of touchy, shorten the bridge. It's another thing I'm thinking about, guys. One of you pointed it out in the comments recently, especially early in the match. If you're feeling a little shaky or you haven't settled yet, shorten up your bridge. That long bridge is going to bite you if you're not playing consistent. So this is good. Nice and clean past the 7. Used a big pocket on the side, but that's fine. I mean, you have the room and you want to get tidy on the 6. Basically just a stop shot on the 6. This one bit me. So I've got a bit of a back cut on the 7. You can play down below the 8. So coming into here, there's plenty of room to get neat on the 8, but I do think that trying to get back above the 8 might have been the safer play, because overplaying this even slightly, suddenly this is a tester. And drifting down, I mean, the window opens up the lower you are, but now we're close to it and we have a long cut. This specific shot caught me a couple times throughout the night. And these are well within my repertoire. I mean, I don't need to be missing that one either. But couldn't put that one down. And now Travis has an opportunity to tie this up. He's long, pretty straight on the 8 and on the rail. So you don't want to try to do too much with this. You don't want to hit too high and try to force follow it. So he just plays it clean and gets rid of the 8 ball, focus on making it. Take a bit of a longer shot on the 9. Goes and looks at the back of the ball, which is good. I think if he were to start to incorporate that more regularly, his game could jump up. Oh! Trying to miss that on the pro side, maybe. But ties it up. It's a good break. Yeah, making some balls. Cue ball's looking good. 1 ball goes. I think the 4 goes. Maybe big draw shot. I don't know if the 2 goes past the 6, but draw back down to here to get below the 2. He's looking at it. Because if the 2 goes past the 6, you basically can just punch off this rail towards the center of the table. Does it come back down? Maybe he tried to punch it there. So the 2 ball goes past the 6, but now you're looking at a long, I'm going to roll it in, straight shot. And these can be really deceptive. So overcuts that a little bit. I'm left to look at the 2, and I think about rail first. I'll pause it again here. I was thinking about rail first to try to make the 2. It's a very makeable shot, but I worried that on hitting the 2, it would threaten the corner pocket. I was worried about the scratch. So I try for a safe here. And the idea was to leave the cue ball down table and the 2 hidden behind the 6. In this case, I tried for both, which I felt pretty confident that I could do, but I think really just focusing on hitting the 2 down table and back up behind the 6 would have been the way to go. So he's got full access to the 2, plays it with confidence, which is great. Roll back into that rail, come back out for the 4. Nothing crazy on the 4. Good natural angle on the 5 to take you to the 6. He's got a roadmap from here. Yeah, he's looking good. So he's not going to like that. He's a little too straight and too long on the 7. You either want to come off this rail and get down here so that you can come around for the 9, or you want to be higher up table so that you hit the 7 and come back down this way. So he's got to come with a shot here. Long draw, play short side on the 9. Yeah. This is it. So he made a cool shot on the 7 and rushed into this 9 ball. Oh, my man. Yeah. So I gave that one up. Those hurt. That'll be the thing. But that's, again, that's why I really enjoyed this practice session with him. We learned a lot about each other's games and our own games. One ball didn't go in the side. It really threatened it, but a couple other balls went down. Yeah, so I think for him, just taking a beat. This position's a little tricky with the 1 and the 5. So the 1 might play past the 5, maybe into the rail and off the 5, which is touchy. You play the combination, it definitely goes. You play the 1 into the 5, but you have to think about getting shape on the 1 after that because the cue ball's wanting to come down here. So what I attempt is play the 1 into the 5 and roll the cue ball down so that it lands down here with the 1 ball, hopefully, hanging in the pocket. So it's a complicated shot to get position from here. I think he and I are either talking about that last rack or we're talking about this current shot. But yeah, our communication is really good, and I anticipate it's only going to get better. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with him here, is how to drive the 1 down and also roll through it to get shape. I think I underplay it just a little bit, though. Just a touch. I mean, played the 5 great, but didn't quite get the look at the 1 we were hoping for. And it's tough to get safe here. You know, ideally you would want to be able to send the cue ball up table, leave the 1 down here, but I don't have enough of the right side of the 1 ball to do that. So I end up having to come off the other side of the 1. Or maybe I do have a bit. No, I don't. Yeah, so this was cool. I'm banking the 1 into the 8 to send it to the other side of the 9 and split them. And he goes for kind of a swervy masse kind of shot. Yeah, he makes a good hit. And he sets it pretty full, so he's not selling out anything easy. I complimented him on that hit, and he said that he doesn't call that a masse, he calls it a tug. I was like, I like that, like a tug. I just got to resave him here, put him behind the 9. I'll make some quip there about tug on that. So he's got to spin it, but he can make an easy enough hit on the 1. Nice and full. Almost cooperates there. So combo, and you can leave the 1 ball in the pocket for your follow-up to get on the 3. I don't know about trying to make the 1 ball through the 7. You don't really have to do that. So just go high ball and come around 2 or 3 rails to get shape on the 1, or you can play it super soft. Yeah, which I do, and I leave the 1 option to play it in the corner or the side, which is okay. I don't have really an angle to work with it if I play it in the corner. The cue ball's going to want to stay here, and you're not going to love that on the 3. If you play it in the side, it's really thin, but the 1 ball goes in lots of... It's got tons of options, basically, to go into the pocket, which changes how the cue ball is going to want to come off. So play into the 4, play into the rail, and then into the 3, so kind of send it towards the 3. I do like that, trying to get into the rail and get above the 3. But I think we hit it a little too thin. Really thin. So thin, in fact, that it was on the back side of the 4. And suddenly we complicate things. We've got a bank on the 3. And I like how we hit this one. Nice. Do YouTube stuff if you haven't done it. We played that really well, not just because the bank cooperated, but because the force follow that I put, hitting a very high ball, sort of spun it off the 3 into the 4, knocked the 4 off the rail to where now the 4 is playable on the side. So you can come off this rail and play for the 8 down in the corner, or you can try to roll through this, which is what I try to do, to get down below the 8. I don't love that, and you're going to see why here in a second. You leave yourself a weird shot on the 8, and now I'm like trying to curve off the 8, and I jump it because I'm striking down on it. And you do all that work to get rid of everything, and then you give up a 2 ball out with ball in hand. So, not a great outcome. I think the play there was to get tidier on the 8. You come off the 4 into the rail and stay above it to play the 8 in the corner. And that's going to tie it up. Moves us into 8 ball. So an even set of 9 ball, 4-4. Good break. Not an awesome spread, but really good cue ball. And doesn't make anything. And this is a tricky rack. The stripes look kind of gross, but they're mostly playable. Problem is the 4 and the 3 block the 10 and the 10 and the 11 up there. I don't think the 15 plays past the 5 as it is, and there's not an awesome opening shot for the stripes. You'd have to back cut the 14 or the 9. You could play the 14 and try to nudge out the 15, but then you still have this problem to deal with, and nothing really takes you there. So I go for solids with the idea that I can move the 10 and the 11 so that my 4 and 3 are freed up. And this played really well, so I'm going high inside to kind of roll off the 10. The 3 and the 1 are open. The 5 does go down in this corner. The only issue now is the 8 ball, and we'd have to figure out how to get probably from the 7, get good from the 7 to nudge that out. Awkward queuing here, but the pattern would be the 1 to the 3, the 5 to the 4, but the tester shot is the 4 to get back down to the 7. You would really like to be able to play the 5 to get down to the 7. So it's an interesting layout. Played that well. I guess you could play the 5 now and then play the 4 to the 3 combo. Because you play the 5, then you can do the 7-6. You'd have to get really good on the 7 to break up the 8 and make the combo. That's a tough shot. So I think we go 3-5-7. Or no, 3, 5, 4, 7. And this is an example of that. Just play good enough. You don't have to get cute. You don't need to get super close to the 5. In fact, the window's a lot larger up table, so just play into that spot. So it does it does show up from time to time. Like that type of intelligence does show up in my game. We're working it in more and more. It is there. 4 is available. The 7-6 is there, but the angle's not great to break out the 8 ball. But getting back down from the 4 to get into the right spot for the 7 is really difficult. So, I mean, do you start to consider a safety here? I don't know how much you really want to keep shooting at these. Okay. So I do play the combo, and I think the idea was to go safe off the 7. We clustered up the 12, 13, 8 a little bit more. I do briefly consider trying to play the 7, and you could maximum draw off the 7 to try to hit the 12, but judging how to come off the 12 and still get shape on the 4, you're begging to give up ball in hand at that point. I think we got to go safe. Just leave them down table. Yeah, I'm trying to... I mean, you're not going to do anything by blocking the pocket here. Maybe you try to play off the 7 to leave them underneath the 12. You do risk banking the 7 back down here in this corner. But he's got a pretty open layout. I do think the 12 goes. 13 might even go past the 7, so... Yeah, this was a tough one. I think we got a lot of stuff out of the way, and we're leaving him a reasonably open table as long as he can negotiate the cluster. Came down a bit farther than he wanted to. He might have been trying to hold that for the 15, but he's still got... Yeah, he's okay. It's a good shot. Kind of pinch it down. Gets below the 9. He's looking okay on that. He's checking the 13. 13 must go past the 7. This is good. He's still below the 13, so it takes him above the 12. These are straight pull shots. I'll just surgically pick this apart. Yeah, and just kind of pinch off the 12. Might have liked a bit more, but still fine. There you go. Yeah, way to work it out. Yeah, his 8 ball break's looking okay. Good cue ball, maybe just not enough power. Not making balls. All right, here's another opportunity. I'm gonna do something with this one. Solids look okay here. The 10, 11, 14 could be a little tricky. Solids are mostly open, so believe the 7 goes past the 8. You could shoot that, but the position's a little weird. I think the opening shot is the 6. Kind of pull back down for the 3. Yeah, that's what I go for. A little bit awkward shooting kind of around the 9, but still very makeable. We are shooting over the 9. Oh, that's silly. I got frustrated on that one. It's a very makeable shot. Position's not difficult. So starting to slip a little bit. Got to keep that killer instinct. It's funny though, because I don't remember I'm not making a conscious decision to ease off or anything. Just maybe relaxed a little too much. I think he ended up with the 2 ball here, which is nice. If he had been on top of the 6, it would have been a much tougher spot. It's good. Overcooked that just a little bit, but he's still got the 6 in the side. And Travis is comfortable with these. Some players will shy away from this thin to the side pocket, but he'll slow roll it in, which is awesome. 5 to the 1 or the 7 in the side. So he's got the 7 in the side. He wants to make sure that he gets good shape on the 3. Thin to the side. He's coming back up table. He's got to get around that 10 ball. Might not have gotten enough of it. He just gets right down on it, though. I think you give this another breath. Made a good hit. I think he was trying to spin that one in. All right, we got to capitalize here. So we're in good shape. The 13, you can kind of roll up and out for the 15 or for the 9. Plenty of room to spin that. The 11-14 is a little concerning because the 11 doesn't go unless you're basically where the 3 would be, that line between the 11 and the 3. You have to be behind it on that long rail. So I'm opening with an attempt to play into the 11 and the 14, which looking back on it now, I do not love this because there's a lot that can go wrong. And I underplayed that pretty severely. And so I opt for a safe. I basically just go really thin off the 11 and I try to keep him behind the 15, 14, 11. But look at this. Perfectly back down to give him a straight line on the 3. I felt like I judged the speed really well there, but there were times in this match where just the bounciness of the rails was getting me. So he could be good here. I mean, you have to make a tester on the 3, but you can kind of stun follow for the 8 in the side down here, or just let it roll all the way through. He kind of jabbed at it. It's unfortunate. Would have been a good way to finish, and to punish me for doing something silly. 2 silly things in a row, missing the 6 and then having a weird defensive shot go wrong. 3 things, I guess, because I tried to play into that 11-14 cluster. Anyway, I have to make this long shot on the 9, but these can feel good. These can help you settle a little bit. And you pretty much... Oh, we kind of rolled through a little too much, but I basically wanted to keep it there for the 15. And then the 15 to the 11. So you could basically just center ball, maybe pinch back a little bit. You don't have to spin this. Get down for the 11, or you can go from the 12 to the 11. Fix that 11 ball. So that one was frustrating too. I had a good plan and I knew how to get down there, and I usually hit that one well, and then I kind of just let up on that final delivery, just decelerated, which usually when you're down on the shot and you're second guessing it or whatever, you have an opportunity to get back up. I don't feel like I even had the chance to stand back up there. I just missed that one, just hit it bad. And he plays good speed to get back down below the 8. It's going to put him on the hill. There you go. Yeah, you got to step up. I mean, he's making me pay for the mistakes. Made a ball on the break. Cue ball driven to a rail, but nothing crazy. So open with the 2. He could hold it here for the 7. Let's open it up a little bit, which don't think he's going to love that. Ends up blocking a pocket for the 7. 3 ball still goes. 5 goes. The 4 goes. His 6 ball's a problem, and his 7 ball's kind of a problem now. Yeah, he was thinking about coming in and out for the 7 this way. You could try to get on the 6 from here. Maybe that's what he was trying to do. This is tough. You could cut the 7 in the corner. You could try to bank the 7, but you're shooting over a ball. There's a lot that can go wrong. It's an unintentional masse effect. Yeah, it's tricky. I don't think he's got to look at the 6. He'd have to kick into the 5, and there's not really a payoff for that. Also, getting a rail after hitting the 5 would be tough. Maybe you come thin off the 7 and try to just safe me up table. I think he fires at it, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember if he said so or not, but I'm pretty sure he was trying to bank it. And it was close. I mean, it threatened the pocket. But there's not a positional advantage to that either. I don't know if he would have ended up with a 4 or not. So from here, I've got the 11, obviously. I think I have the 9. This is trouble, so you'd have to try to figure that out. Do you play into those, or do you just take your medicine and play the combo? We're trying to stay below the 9 ball. Maybe you go from the 9 to the 14. We can kind of just punch up off the 9. Play it to the left side of the pocket. Yeah, pretty full. 14 goes clean, so we can draw off the 14 to either get above the 12, play the combo, or you can play into them. Playing into them is dicey because it's kind of hard to judge what's going to happen. But maybe going full into the 12 to knock that out. Unlucky. Played really full into the 12, which is good. I think that's what I was trying to do. But we're faced with a combo here. It seemed like it was just destined to be this way. So you play the combo, and now what I'm looking at is if the 12 goes into the 15 properly, where's it going to go? And naturally, it's going to want to cluster itself up again. Looking back on it, I think, yeah, I played it with some pace. No, I think I played that okay. A little too much, I guess, because if you had been over here, that would have been a really nice position from the 12 to the 10. We're close. We're really close on it. And this is weird because you're back cutting the 12. The cue ball's naturally going to want to come back up table. It's really hard to get that shape on the 10 ball. You want to make sure you get a look at it. So I don't really see a positional advantage to making the 12 from here. I look at the cut on the 10, but it's really thin. And again, you're sending the cue ball wild. So coming out and back up table, don't love that either. Start to consider a safe maybe. So come off the 10 and leave him under the 4. Just limit his options. Yeah, that's okay. Just try to contain it a little bit. He's going to try to resafe here. So kick in behind the 6. Doesn't want to mess with the cluster, really. So behind the 6. 6 hits the 7. He needs a rail. Gets a rail. And this could finish the game. If we make a good combo here, 10 goes in. The 12's going to want to go down table, though. It's risky. You got to think about where the 12's going. And again, kind of like the 1-5 combo earlier in the 9-ball set. Do you just roll down to leave the cue ball below the 4? Yeah, the 12 did pretty much what we expected, but don't make the combo. His 5 ball goes. His 4 ball might go if he's enough above it. So he's going to try that. 5 takes him there. He's above the 4, but it's pretty tough. I think it was hard to gauge. I remember him looking at this for a minute and not knowing if he could cut it right. Yeah. He might have it. See if he over or undercuts it. Undercut it. So maybe he didn't have it. Made a clean hit, but it was too thick on the 4 ball. So here's a chance. You can play the combo. You can play off the 10, maybe hit the 8, or spin off the 10 and come around the 8 ball. I think I like that looking at it now. You've got enough room just getting around the 8, but I decide to try to stay down below it. Graze the 12, and then it sends me this like dirty spot behind the 8 where I don't have a full look at the 12. Bad decision. It's just a bad call. Needed to play that 10 thinner and come around the 8. Or spin it, come to, yeah, and that's what he and I were talking about a little bit, was to spin it out and around. It's funny because I don't remember considering that, but the way that I put my cue on the table made it seem like I was judging that. Not really sure what was going on there. So yeah, we're in a tough spot. You can kick at the 12, send it towards the side pocket, which is what I'm starting to look at. And if you do, so kind of a two rail kick here, the cue ball is going to want to come off the 12 down into here. There's a chance of making the 4 ball, which would be really nice to take that out of the equation. If you don't make the 12, then at least you're not giving up something easy. That'll help him get up table. We got to make a good hit here, and maybe with a little pace. Hoping for a bit of fortune. Miss the side, miss the 4. Don't cluster anything up. He was pointing at it because he recognized the attempt on making the 4, but just didn't work out. And it's open for him from here. Just get good on the 6. Maybe a shot from the 7 to the 8, but as long as he gets a good angle on the 7, he should be fine. I like what he's doing here. He's taking a minute to really commit to a plan. Just come across table for the 6. You don't have to do too much here. That'll do. Maybe a bit flatter on the 6 than he wanted to be, but you can still punch out. Nice. Okay, he was able to get a bit more out of that than I thought. And pretty natural low right to come back down the 8. Oh, not enough. Man, if he had scratched there, raise of a hand, because he knew that was, he played it naturally for the scratch, but he knew he wanted to be a bit lower. Oh, he bobbles that one in, but it does cooperate for him. Really fun match overall. He and I continue to play a little bit that night. But like I said, this stuff is great. It's great for both of our games, and it's what I need right now. Not just somebody who can beat me, because Travis can beat me. My other teammate can beat me too, which I need a lot of that in the next few weeks. But we got to talk about our games. We have to come up with a good plan of how we improve in this short period of time. We don't want to be making huge changes to our games. It's not the right time to do that. I'm going to change my stroke, or some of the stuff that I've been working on over the last year. It's fine to do that in normal season when you're able to find enough time to settle into it and you can practice that. But before a big competition like the Worlds in August, you don't want to be making those huge sweeping changes. That's not the goal right now. Nonetheless, thanks for sticking around. For those of you who make it all the way to the end of the video, I really appreciate you guys. The watch time is awesome, and it really helps the channel a lot, in addition to the likes and the subs and everything else. Again, thank you to everybody for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. It's huge. It's so exciting to see, to kind of feel rewarded for that and know that the content is helping you guys, that it's beyond just entertaining, that it's educational as well. That's really my goal. So stay tuned, more to come. I'm going to try to get in not just, match commentary and training like this. We'll see if maybe we can put together some money games or challenge matches in the time before Vegas. Some instructional stuff there if I can manage as well. So yeah, we'll hope to see you all again soon. Thanks for being here.